let's talk about what rat poisons are first of all. So they come in these lots of different types of vessels, or how they put the poisons in. But basically, the rat poisons, the animals go in, they eat the bait, they go in and out, in and out. So say this rat's going to go in and eat this bait, it's gonna not die. It does not die in the box. It can go in, come back out, come back in for another feeding, and then it gets tons and tons of poisons in its system. So it just kind of accumulates in its system. It takes 7 to 10 days before this animal might actually die. Of course, during that time, it starts to feel the effects of the rat poison, so it starts to move slower than say it was moving before. Now it's becoming an easy prey for our larger animals such as bobcats, coyotes, mountain lions. Our raptors, our hawks, our owls as well are impacted by these poisons. So we found that it actually moves up the food chain, and we have found 7 mountain lions died directly from rat poisons, and 90% of the mountain lions tested in our study and 90% of the bobcats tested in our study tested positive for rat poisons as well. So it's definitely impacting other wildlife, non-target species, unfortunately. And one of the things that we can do is avoid using rat poisons by using alternatives. So directly around the house, if you're having issues with rats around the house, one of the main things we talk about is removing all the vegetation that is surrounding the house, maybe even a lot of trees that are hanging over the top. I talked to a woman today who had Italian cypresses that were hanging right over the roof line, and so the rats are just jumping from their cypresses trees into the house, and so then they get into the attic, they find food resources in the house. Also, so you could use 1/4-inch wire to seal up around some of the open areas of your house. You can use metal flashing. Some people use foam to do that as well, especially small little holes. It's really important to remember that mice can get into the hole that's the size of a dime. So you want to really seal up anywhere where their cables have been installed, where they drilled holes to get the cables in. You want to seal up around those as well. Not to forget that there's maybe some vents from the attic, some pipes that come up from the attics that you want to cap, as well as your chimneys you want to cap, and even sometimes the vent for your dryers, they can jump up. It depends on how desperate they are to get those food resources. So you've got vegetation around the house, and then you want to make sure that you clear up the seal up basically the house as well. And then food resources. So any type of food resources that you have accessible. So for example, compost bins. I know we like to do compost bins, which is great for the environment, but the problem with compost bins is if you have them open, then they're a food resource for the rodents, and they're going to eat it. Also, you might want to make sure your trash cans are closed up. Don't feed your pets outside, because all of that leaves, food for them. And then one of the main things is those bird feeders. I know we love our birds, but our birds are super messy, and so they spill seed all over the place. And then who comes at nighttime? All those rats come and they eat that bird seed that's on the ground. Really effective. Also, they have electric traps for rodents as well. So there's some different options out there.